to communication. Tough conversations, I think it's simple. Is the check right? I think it's that simple as like, is the check right? And it's usually only tough conversations for people that really want to like change up your styles. If you want to change, if somebody asked me to change up my style, shoot something completely different. I had a artist I was working with, and I don't necessarily do too much day-to-day stuff. That's not me. I like taking time with a lot of it. I had an artist I was working with who wanted me for day-to-day, and so I was like, cool, if you want me for day-to-day, you're gonna have to pay me this. And it's not necessarily a diss necessarily to people who work day-to-day or this or that. Like, that's just what I need to work day-to-day with somebody. Like, you have to understand how much you're changing up your style for somebody, how much you're changing up your workflow, how much you're changing up your mental health. Bro, your mental health will catch up to you quick on this, like in a lifestyle where you're flying around nonstop for shoots. Like, it will catch up to you, and it will ruin work, ruin sets, all that. And so that's one tough conversation to have. I've had conversations where something just went barely wrong on set. Somebody might have been barely uncomfortable because of, I don't remember, I had a location that for some reason the studio had put a camera in the changing room, and I'm focused on like fully setting up the set and everything, and the artist I was working with got uncomfortable with that. Completely understandable. It's not that crazy to, but and that kind of took a step back, and we ended up shooting the next day at a whole different spot because it was just, that's the type of thing that a lot of these artists are so insanely emotional that if something just messes up once, they want to, I've had them cancel shoots on the spot, reschedule here. You've got to keep their mental health up with you. You got to, as I said, make them excited, push them through. A lot of these artists are not used to doing photo shoots for 8 hours, 12-hour sets, 6-hour sets, whatever. A lot of them are used to walking out of a Tahoe, get the pictures there, walk into the building, and that's it. Like, so you really got to build up their longevity for shoots. And I think that's a tough conversation to have because you never know what's going to change up. And non-negotiables really depend on the artist. The overarching idea of it is, what does your work define? What does it mean? What does it look like to you? That's usually your non-negotiables, and that's a very broad answer. But how much does this actually hinder your career? There's artists that you might not want to work with because of their rep. There's people you might not want to work with because of their rep. There's people you might not want to have on set or even, associate. I've had shoots before where I changed up my style for somebody because they were paying nice, and I told them I don't want to tag. I don't want anything to do with this. And so that's a non-negotiable for me. Like, I don't care about this, so take the pictures. Like, I'm not giving up the licensing, obviously, but that's your non-negotiable is, what does your work, what does your career look like? And then the other non-negotiable for me is like, does it make you or the person you're working with uncomfortable? Is it like a light you're being shown in that is just not good? Is it that the work itself is not good? Is it going against the meaning of the project? Discomfort is like, let me take a step back. As a photographer, I think the most important thing you need to do, director, photographer, whatever, as a creative, is make the person you're working with super comfortable with you. That way, when you throw random poses that are gonna challenge them, or they've never stood on something or jumped off something or done something that they're so used to, just Instagram photos, you gotta make them comfortable to work with you in that sense. And so if anything makes the shoot uncomfortable, like I was talking about with that previous shoot, that's a non-negotiable. That's where we change up things fully. That's where things have to take a step back and reapproach the project however we need to. So, yeah. As far as reaching out, I do have regrets about this, but I don't. The whole first 2 years, between 15 and 17, I think there was about 150 artists, and I have a huge email list too because I ended up paying for one of those, like a celebrity booking email things. I just pulled all the managers' emails from. From 15 to 17, I was sending, unsending, and resending a message every single day to, I think, about 100 to 120 different artists. And it's like, Did I get blocked from a few? Sure. Do I care to work with them right now? Not really. So I'm still up. But that's how I got the first like gigs. Dreamville, that whole gig was just purely off of I think I DM'd Jid 8 months before he was ever like, yeah, pull up to a set. I think they might have just had somebody like just fully, cancel on them, and then they were like, okay, cool, let's have this kid try him out. So you got to understand that cold outreaches is just take it on the chin and just do it. Email whoever you need. Come prepared. If it's for people you're trying to work with in the sense of like a team, and you just want them for a specific role or for a personal project, have everything you can do already prepared. So, if you need them for makeup, come to them with a makeup mood board already prepared so they understand you're not just trying to hop on the phone and let them fully direct it. And so you want to come prepared to anybody, really. I think it's short, sweet, throw out the details. Maybe you can talk about your rep a little bit. And then other than that, I think it's super simple just to take it on the chin, reach out. You might get no response. It's nothing personal. A lot of people haven't responded because they just don't know me personally. It's nothing personal in this business. Like, it's all continue to reach out. And as long as it doesn't like hinder your image or make you feel like you're too thirsty for opportunities, then keep doing it. I think one of the last points we want to talk about is etiquette. Just play your role. Play your role. That's what's going to get you a lot more jobs, is just continuously playing your role. And the other thing is, like, with team members, you've got to establish this with them. You need people to communicate with you immediately. I had this light tech once that I showed him the idea. And this is a set where we're dealing with 6 lights. It's all outdoors. And he's like, yeah, I can set it up. I got it. We can do it. And we wasted about like 30 minutes where I could really see that he wasn't confident in his ability to do it. We wasted about 30 to 45 minutes setting up a set that we didn't shoot a single picture in, because it was just like, or setting up a lighting set that we didn't shoot a single picture in, because he just didn't want to communicate that he couldn't do it. And if you can't do it, sure, it might be embarrassing or anything like that, but at least you're not wasting time, because if you can't do it, falls back on me, I'm going to be pissed at you. The artist is already pissed at me. The management is pissed at me because the artist is pissed. So you got to communicate constantly with your team, with the artists. Let them know what's going on at all times. And if you can't do something, don't waste your time trying to do it. Experiment, don't get me wrong. But if you tried all your efforts towards it, get out as soon as you can. And on tour, like for tour set etiquettes, I think, or for tour etiquettes, not set etiquettes, for tour etiquettes, it depends on the team you're playing with. And I think, like I said, you have a role on that tour and you're there for 2 months straight. You really have to lock in and play a role. And that tours is where this whole thing turns into a job for me. It's no longer a thing where it's like super fun, because like I said, the second month, the third month of tours are exhausting to the point where just you don't want to do it anymore. So you just have to have the work ethic to just play a role. And if you can step up further, sure, you can communicate with people, but especially with bigger artists, they're calling you in for a reason. They're not asking for anything else. If they want a photographer, that's all they want. These are big artists that have been in the game for a minute. If they want a photographer, that's all they want. Don't come in there and do photography and then try to force your way into a creative director position, or try and force your way into a stylist position. Understand they came to you for a reason, and if you have to prove something to them, sure, do it, and then you can maybe convince them. But play your role, know your space, know the people you're working with. Being quiet will get you into a lot of rooms, or will keep you in a lot of rooms. And communicating as much as you can with the people.